Hello and welcome back to another FPL video. Today we're going to be looking at game week 2 wildcards. I know a lot of people are planning on wildcarding this early in the season. Maybe you've got a bench boost planned, maybe you just need to completely rejig your team. Today we're going to be rating some of those wildcards. If you are new around here, I know that 93% of you are not subscribed. If you don't mind helping me out, I'm trying to hit the 100 subscriber mark as soon as I can. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's go straight into this. So the first team is brought to us by R4LF. Now we start in goal with Schmeichel. Schmeichel looks okay. He's got a couple of decent fixtures going forward. Quite a premium option though for a goalkeeper. I still like the looks of McCarthy and Ryan Moore. I feel like you can do a lot more with that 1 mil. If you're going to go for a sort of more premium goalkeeper, maybe look towards someone more like Vincente Guaita, or Dubravka when he's back, or even Aaron Ramsdale. I think 5.5 is a little bit too much for me spending a goalkeeper. I think you could maybe go for 5 mil, but yeah, 5.5 a little bit too much. We also see in a lot of these teams, Trent is not picked at all. I think that 1 point has really discouraged people from picking him. Robertson as well. I think Robertson is a great option. I think this year their points tallies will be a lot closer than they were last year. Robertson a great option going forward. Looked better pre-season, and that's shown in the form in game week 1. We also have Wan-Bissaka coming in along with Gabriel and Thomas. Now Gabriel, I know you think there's a lot of hype around him at the minute, but obviously he scored in the last game. He's not going to do that every week, and with him in the Arsenal side, you can see them picking up a lot more clean sheets. However, attacking returns, you're probably looking more towards Kieran Tierney, Bellerin. Even though Tierney was playing left centre back, he was kind of inverting, and a bit like Sheffield, to overlapping centre backs, and was getting in some very, very dangerous positions. Thomas for Leicester, you've got in there. That's not for me. If you want to get a Leicester player in there, go for Justin for a 4.5 million option. And Carl Walker-Peters or Lamptey are still other good 4.5 options as well. Willian, I do like. He looked very, very good in that Fulham game, picking up 3 assists, which was wonderful to see. I was debating putting him in my team as well. However, just with a little bit of uncertainty around Willian, you've got Pepe, you've got Saka playing on that right hand side, so he's not actually guaranteed to play. I think he'll play a lot, especially after that performance. He'll at least get the next game, but he's not guaranteed to play, so I'm a little bit unsure about that from me. Harrison, obviously there as well, 5.5 mil, scored against Liverpool and looked incredibly clinical in his chance as well. Fernandes, De Bruyne as well, also looking very good. No Salah in the midfield, which that would worry me quite a lot. Obviously, he picked up a hat-trick in the first week, but he just looked very sharp. He looked on it, and having the penalties, a lot of people saying, he's not as good expected goals without penalties, but if they're getting the penalties, he's on them and he'll be scoring them. So the fact that he has the penalties, another massive bonus there. Mason Mount, I think, looks alright as well. Got to start for Chelsea and could definitely pick up some returns as well. That attack, I do very much like. Willian, Wilson, Calvert-Lewin and Martial, very good going forward, and I wouldn't do much to change that attack, to be honest. So what is the rating? I'm going to go for a 7 out of 10 here. No Salah really kind of brings the team down for me a little bit. It seems a little rushed as well. Schmeichel and Thomas, not really for me, but I think that attack is very, very good as well. And you never know, it could really turn dividends. I think Willian also too much rotational risk for me, but still a very, very solid side. So the next draft is brought to us by Toxic Kiabi, and I must say, just off the bat, when I saw this team, I was like, this is a team that I'd potentially want to draft in myself. McCarthy and goal, very much like the pick. Digne, Doherty, Justin and Robertson, very, very solid at the back. Ferguson I like as well there, just because he will come into that Crystal Palace side sooner rather than later. As soon as he returns from injury, he will be the option. So I think he's definitely the one, if you're wildcarding, to go for instead of Mitchell. Although Mitchell's playing at the minute, he will eventually get benched for Patrick Van Aanholt, and then Ferguson will come in for Joel Ward at right back. Justin, I'm a little unsure about. Obviously, when Pereira comes back, you can see it being Pereira and Castagna. However, Justin has looked good, but I would say Castagna may be the better option there. Davies, Doherty looked okay. He played very, very far forward, and you could see Davies, picking up some attacking returns as well. So he's also an option for a mil cheaper. Digne obviously looked really, really good at the weekend. Everton now will definitely be getting a lot more clean sheets. You can see them getting sort of 4 clean sheets in the first 4 games, really, against West Brom, Crystal Palace and Brighton. They've already picked up a clean sheet against Spurs. And Digne, still on free kicks, picking up some assist potential there. You got Fernandes, De Bruyne and Salah in the midfield. Absolutely love it. St. Maximin looked okay. And Basuma, I do think for a 4.5 million, Romeo or Basuma look good as well. Basuma looking to get forward and could actually have a bit of goal threat as well. That attack looks very, very promising as well. You've got Timo Werner and Che Adams. Davies there obviously as a placeholder. Instead of having St. Maximin in there, I dropped St. Maximin down to a 4.5 midfielder. I'd also dropped Doherty down to Davies. I think Davies actually have just as high assist potential as Doherty, just because Davies is passing that ball down to the left wing to Son, and Son can basically go and do it all himself. So we could see Davies picking up a cheap assist. So what I do, Doherty down to Davies, St. Maximin down to a 4.5, and then Davies up front, up to Callum Wilson, as Callum Wilson for Newcastle will be the one getting all the goals. St. Maximin provides a flair, but at the end of the day, Wilson will be the one putting the ball in the back of the net. Che Adams looked pretty good as well. I definitely consider maybe swapping him to Jordan Ayew or Batshuayi at some point, come sort of game week 4 or 5. But I think he looks a decent option now. Just the only real change that Callum Wilson in there and Doherty down to Davies. And you could even look at Digne down to Coleman as well, and maybe a little bit of a change up there. Digne down to Coleman and potentially Che Adams up to Calvert-Lewin. I don't mind that either. But yeah, a very solid team, and I'm rating this one an 8 out of 10. A very nice little wild card here. So the next wild card is brought to us by Only PSG. Now, I think this team off the bat does look very, very good. You've got Trent in there, you've got Davies, Van Dijk, Justin, Coleman. Very, very solid in the back. Very expensive defence as well. Salah, Aubameyang, Havertz. I mean, Havertz is just in there as a placeholder. I know that you said that you had Son and you were potentially transferring them to the likes of Rodriguez, Havertz, Rashford, all these kind of players. So I've just lobbed in Havertz there as a sort of name change, but could be any one of those options. Then of course up front you've got Timo Werner, and I know you said Mitrovic would either be Calvert-Lewin or Wilson. I think Calvert-Lewin and Wilson definitely very, very good options. I do think this is a very, very good team. Obviously, you've got the defence there. Everton are going to keep plenty of clean sheets. The double up on Liverpool's okay. Against Chelsea, I definitely can see Chelsea scoring, especially with the way Timo Werner drifts out onto the left. I can see them exposing that Trent Alexander-Arnold side. Obviously, Salah and Aubameyang, for me, they're must so far, and Aubameyang to move to KDB. If you're not thinking that, definitely that is a very good move as well. So the rating for this team, as a draft, I'd actually rate this 8 out of 10. But just reading your comments of the players you have, the likes, you had Son, you had Mitchell. I think the players you have is good enough to take you into game week 2. So that's why I'm rating this 7 out of 10, because it seems like you're panicking into the wild card. Son to, say, Havertz or Son to Rodriguez is a very sideways move. You can easily see Son bagging a couple of goals against Southampton. Also, Mitrovic, I personally had Mitrovic. I know it was hard seeing him get benched. However, I think he will start and has a couple of decent fixtures there. So, if you end up taking a -4 or wildcarding Mitrovic out, or the likes of Son out, and they both go and score, then you're left there thinking, why did I wildcard? So I think you've definitely got a good enough team to go into game week 2. The only thing I'd maybe transfer is Virgil van Dijk down to Luca Digne, because I think Everton have a very high chance of keeping clean sheets, and Luca Digne has got a very high assist potential as well. So the next team is brought to us by Mr. Rocco. This is an extremely bold wildcard. I like it, it's aggressive, and I like the kind of style you're going for. It could be punished heavily. However, what this person has done, they've effectively gone for 4 4.0 defenders and 2 4.5 defenders. Justin and Dallas is the 4.5 options, and Mitchell, Douglas and Bernardo is the rest of them. Personally, what I do is for the 4.0, I go with Mitchell and change Douglas or Bernardo to Ferguson, because Ferguson definitely will be playing. So just having a 4.0 option that we'll be playing will benefit you greatly. Justin, if you're going to have, Justin is a transfer waiting to happen, especially when he's obviously going to be one of your main defenders. So I changed Justin to the likes of Lamptey, Cole Walker-Peters, guys are definitely going to play. Same with Dallas. If you want the Leeds option, go with Alien, because we know Alien will definitely start. Now we move on to the big boys of the team. We have Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes, incredible midfield, St. Maximin and Mendy. Then we move on to Vardy, Werner and Calvert-Lewin up front. Some incredible firepower. Vardy looks You know, he looks on good form, got a couple of penalties. Werner looks very good, and Calvert-Lewin looks like he's going to be incredible. The only kind of tweaks I'd make to this team is I personally drop Saint Maximin down to a 4.5 mil midfielder and use that 1 mil to upgrade Douglas to a 4.5 and to upgrade Bernardo to a 4.5, or upgrade one of them to a 5 mil defender. Just gives you a little bit more in defence, means you have some options, because looking now at that defence, obviously you have to at least play 3 defenders each week, and you only have 3 defenders who do actually start and play currently. Mitchell is a transfer waiting to happen as well, so is Justin, and potentially so is Dallas, so I'd have a little rethink about your defence. But other than that, I think the rest of the team is really good. That attack really does impress me, and I'm going to go for a 7.5 out of 10. So the next draft is brought to us by the Mister Not Worth My Time. The defence looking very, very solid. No Liverpool in there. It looks like a very kind of snappy wild card, this one, which I'm maybe not too much of a fan of, because, you know, James had a great game. You brought him in. Justin, great game, brought him in. Lamptey, assist, brought him in. Salah, hat-trick. I mean, Salah, I think, is a great option. Greenwood, there's a little bit of a doubt over whether he will play, so I'm not sure about Greenwood. But if he does end up playing, then a great option. But with all this talk of Sancho potentially coming, personally, I wouldn't particularly want to go for Greenwood, because then it's just a transfer waiting to happen, really. Mahrez, I think, very, very good. Willian, also very good. You've got a very, very strong 5 in the midfield. But also for me, it's just a little bit too unreliable. We don't know whether Greenwood's going to start every week. Mahrez won't be starting every single week. Willian, potentially there's a bit of a rotation risk there as well. So I wouldn't be too happy. I'd maybe have 1 or maybe 2 out of the 3 of those, but I'd be looking to potentially swap one of those out for a much more sort of guaranteed starter. I think once Pulisic comes back from injury, he'll be a great option, because we know he will start. Looking at someone also like Heung-min Son, I know he's a little bit more expensive, but we also know he's going to start, and he will eventually start scoring goals as well. That attack, Brewster, Werner and Calvert-Lewin looking very strong as well. Brewster, if he gets his move away, could be an incredibly good option. Werner and Calvert-Lewin also look like they're going to bag plenty of goals as well. So with the rating, no Liverpool defence does worry me a little bit, and the potential risk of rotation in the midfield kind of reduces this team down from a kind of 8 for me down to a 7.5. Otherwise, I think it's a very well crafted team and a decent looking wildcard. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. I'm really trying to push for 100 subscribers, so if you don't mind helping me out, I'd really appreciate it. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.